Happy Halloween, everybody, and welcome to Clay Formations. So, what can we make out of a toilet paper roll? Well, let's find out. The first thing I did was take Sculpey Ultralight and put it into the tube. Then I took a piece of wire and put it inside. That way I can hold it in the chuck as I sculpt. And there we are. Instant toilet paper roll. And now let's cover it in a layer of Sculpey. You don't want the Sculpey to be too thick, because if it's too thick you could end up with uncured Sculpey or it could crack. So you don't want to do it any more than 1/4 of an inch thick. Here I'm making the space for his eyes. I decided to go with marbles this time. I always like using glass eyes. It makes it easier when I'm sculpting the eyelids. At this point he looks a little goofy. And here's where I start making the facial features, trying to figure out if I want to make him happy or sad, or so I figured I'd make him with a evil grin. Right about here I kind of wish that I would have made a little void for his eyes, so his eyes would have been inset a little more. Giving him a little bit of a ruffled brow there. And of course he wouldn't be complete without a George Clooney chin. Now he's starting to look like he has a face. He looks like a Frenchman now with a beret. Now we'll add a little ridge or the top part of his head. And now we'll add some melting wax. I was really concerned that these would crack when I baked them, but thankfully they didn't. They've stayed pretty much intact. I had to paint the inside of his mouth first because I was going to be putting something in front of that. I knew I wouldn't be able to get my paintbrush in there after I baked it, because I was going to be making drips of wax as his teeth. Like his nose is running. Now it's time to attach him to his candlestick, putting some epoxy sculpt in there. I left a piece of wire at the bottom of the candle as sort of a tang for it to embed into the epoxy sculpt so it wouldn't break loose. And here I'm adding some liquid Sculpey so that the regular Sculpey will blend into the candle. You can attach uncured Sculpey to cured Sculpey, but you need that liquid Sculpey to give it a good blend. They almost look like little hands. What I will have to do is use a heat gun to cure these small pieces of Sculpey. I really didn't want to put it in the oven the second time. And now for a shameless Clay Formations plug with my new friend, Poser.
Make sure you give this video a like. And please consider subscribing. And share with your friends and leave a comment below. Now back to the video.
Thanks, Poser. I call him Poser because he's, well, posable. I wanted the wax drips to be almost the same color as the black, and what I found out is that wasn't going to work because there wasn't enough of a contrast, so I decided to really lighten them up with a completely different, lighter color. That way you could see them better. Now for the fun part, the eyes. I like using cabochons most of the time, which is a glass half dome. That way I can paint the back of the eye before I even put it into the clay, but unfortunately that wouldn't work with this, so I had to hand paint the eyes, which I really don't like doing. It's really hard, and you'll see why in a little bit. What you have to do is you have to start with the dark colors first, and then you build up each layer with a lighter color to give it like a 3D effect. Pupil, the reflective dot, and then covering it with gloss. And now to give him a little wisp of smoke, as if his candlelight has just been blown out. And now for the most useful tool in the sculptor's arsenal, Aquanet. Guaranteed to keep your wisp of smoke in place all day long. Oh yes, darling, you look marvelous. And now Mr. Maxx Waxx is complete.